Ever had that weird feeling in the middle of the night when everything's quiet? Like someone's holding your hand? Soft, gentle, but ice cold. The only problem? You're supposed to be alone in the room. I'm Clara, spending a chill weekend with my twin siblings at our old family cabin out in rural Montana. We hadn't done a trip like this in years, just needed a break from the city chaos. The cabin was old but cozy, wooden walls, a crackling fireplace, and that pine smell that somehow makes you feel grounded. Mia, my sister, was bold and a bit impatient, always ready to explore every creepy corner. Jake, my little brother, was just 4, quiet, picky about everything, and sometimes liked to hold our hands while falling asleep. I'm usually calm, but yeah, I overthink everything. That weekend felt peaceful, laughter, firelight, and marshmallows melting perfectly. Everything was normal, until Jake softly said while dozing off, "Someone's holding my hand, but I don't know her name." I laughed it off at first, but something in his tone didn't sound like make-believe. Days went smooth. Pancakes on the stove, sunlight pouring through the wooden walls, the usual mountain quiet. We'd hike, tell stories, just chill. But as night came, the cabin's silence started to shift. Jake began sleeping restlessly. He'd clutch his toy car tight and wake up looking off. "She told me not to wake her," he'd mumble. We brushed it off. Kids say weird stuff, right? But then it started happening every night. Sometimes the door I swore I'd shut would be open in the morning. Curtains would move, even with no wind. One night, I saw Jake's small hand stiff, frozen like it had just been let go of. My stomach dropped. It felt like maybe we weren't the only ones in that cabin. At first, I told myself it was just Jake's imagination. Kids dream up stuff all the time. But things started feeling off, like really off. Jake's face would twitch in his sleep, almost smiling, like he was listening to someone. His lips would move, whispering to the air. Mia joked, "Maybe he's dreaming about Mom." And for a second it felt sweet. Then the air went weirdly heavy, like someone else was right there between us. I noticed Jake always slept facing the same side, his left hand out, like someone invisible was sitting there, holding it. One night, curiosity got the best of me. I touched his hand, and it was ice cold. Not just cold, unnaturally cold. The cabin wasn't chilly. The thermometer said it was warm. But that moment, it felt like the air froze solid around us. Like there were more than 3 people in that room. The fire crackled soft that night, painting the room in orange light. Mia was already out cold, but I couldn't sleep. I sat beside Jake's bed, listening to him breathe. Outside, the crickets chirped. Inside, everything else was still. Too still. Then I noticed Jake's wrist, slightly red, like pressure marks. I leaned closer. There were faint impressions, tiny fingerprints, like someone had been holding his hand. I blinked, thinking my eyes were tired. But no, they were real. Jake's eyes half opened, and in this soft, sleepy whisper, he said, "She likes when I stay still." No fear in his voice, just calm. My heart started racing. I flicked on the lamp and froze. The room was empty, but there was a pale handprint on Jake's skin. Bigger than his, faded and cold. Not warm like a person's, just cold. Dead cold. After that night, sleep was impossible. Every sound in that cabin felt louder. The wood creaking, the wind brushing the window, Jake's breathing. Between those sounds, there was something else. A silence that watched. I kept telling myself it was in my head. Just stress, right? But the next morning Jake sat up, rubbed his eyes, and said, "She let go now." His tone was calm, too calm. My heart dropped. The marks were gone, completely, like they never existed. Mia joked, "Guess his ghost buddy finally left," and laughed. I forced a smile, but something in the room felt hollow, like the air had lost something. Or maybe someone. That night, when I turned off the lights, I heard it, soft, rhythmic tapping from under the floorboards. Slow, deliberate, like footsteps. Someone was still walking down there. The next morning, the cabin was weirdly silent. Just the wind slipping through the trees and the wood floor creaking under our steps. While packing, Mia suddenly yelled, "Clara, come here." Her voice sounded off, not scared, just uneasy. In the corner, the old basement hatch we'd never touched was half open. Cold, damp air seeped out, carrying this earthy smell, like something old and buried was breathing again. I shined my flashlight down there, just darkness. Jake stood right by it, completely still. "She went down there," he said softly, almost peaceful, like something was finally over. I shut the hatch, locked it tight, and we left. While driving away, I glanced in the rearview mirror. Jake sat quiet, hands folded in his lap. For a split second, I swear I saw another hand resting under his, pale, still, and cold. Then, faintly, from deep in the woods behind us, a soft door creaked shut, like someone finally went back to sleep. Have you ever seen a silhouette outside your window, just standing there, completely still, not even moving with the wind? I used to brush it off until my 5-year-old son started talking about him. I'm Hannah, living in a small, quiet town in Oregon where every evening the colors fade slow behind the trees. Life's simple, predictable, peaceful, I guess. I'm a single mom, and my 5-year-old boy Ethan means everything to me. His tiny voice, his goofy laugh, his Lego world scattered all over the floor. That's my calm space. I'm a little overprotective, probably too much sometimes. Every time he steps a few feet away, I get this weird feeling, like something's gonna take him from me. Maybe that's just a single mom thing. I'd be in the kitchen making dinner, and he'd call out, "Mommy, look what I made." That sound alone made me feel safe. That night, everything was perfect. Warm lights, cozy vibes, and Ethan sitting cross-legged with his Legos. I thought, finally, a chill weekend. Until he casually looked up at the window and said, "Mommy, the man behind your window is smiling at me." Our living room was our safe zone, a space filled with laughter, warmth, and the comfort of routine. Ethan would be on the floor, lost in his colorful Lego world, while I stirred soup in the kitchen. Outside, dusk slowly took over, that moment when the light and shadows mixed just right. Everything felt normal, just another peaceful night. Then he said it again, casual as ever. "Mommy, the man behind your window is smiling at me." I froze for a second, then told myself, it's just imagination. Kids say weird stuff all the time. I glanced at the window, nothing there. Just my faint reflection and the trees swaying in the wind. I laughed a little. "There's no one there, sweetheart." He shrugged and kept playing. But over the next few evenings, he said it again. And again. Every night, when the light began to fade, Ethan would quietly say, "He moved closer today." The curtain would shift slightly, even when the air was still. I started feeling it too, like the room had grown heavy, like something unseen was watching us breathe. At first, I kept telling myself, "It's nothing, Hannah. Kids imagine stuff." But that uneasy feeling wouldn't leave. Every evening, I'd hear the soft clatter of Legos and his little hums, until everything went too quiet. A strange stillness filled the room, like he was listening to something or someone. I started avoiding the window on purpose, pretending not to notice. Still, sometimes, from the corner of my eye, the curtain would twitch, just slightly. One night, when I asked, "Ethan, what are you building?" he didn't look up. He just said, "I'm making his house." His tone was calm, too calm, like he was talking about a friend he already knew. I couldn't sleep that night. I checked the curtains again and again. The darkness outside felt thick, and in the reflection, I saw myself, or maybe someone else. A shadow, still as stone, just standing there, barely shifting when I moved. My heartbeat doubled. I yanked the curtains shut, but the feeling stayed. That evening was quiet, almost peaceful. The sky melted into purple and orange, soup simmered on the stove, and everything finally felt okay. Until Ethan said softly, "He's smiling again." A cold chill shot through me. I turned toward the window. At first, I only saw our reflections, but for a split second, there was another shape. Taller, darker, completely still, like something glued to the glass. I blinked, and it was gone. I pulled the curtain aside, checked every corner. Nothing. Still, The air felt thick, heavy, frozen. I scooped Ethan up and whispered, "It's bedtime, baby." My voice shook just a little. He kept his eyes on that same corner of the window and said, quiet but sure, "He's not going anywhere yet." My heart just stopped. One thought looped in my head. What if Ethan's not imagining him? Or worse, what if I'm the one who can't see what's real anymore? In the middle of the night, a soft tap-tap sound woke me up. At first, I thought maybe a branch was hitting the window, but the rhythm was too deliberate, too slow. My chest tightened. Through the dim light of the living room, I saw a shape behind the curtain. Tall, thin, unmoving. For a second, I couldn't even breathe. I lifted the curtain's edge, and there he was. A figure, long arms, head tilted slightly, like he was peeking inside. The glass between us felt useless, like he could step through any time he wanted. The yard was dead silent. Crickets in the distance. I blinked, and he was gone. I tried convincing myself it was just a trick of the light, but my chest felt heavy, like someone was pressing down on it. I rushed to Ethan's room. He was sound asleep, calm as ever. When I tucked his blanket tighter, he half opened his eyes and mumbled, "He's leaving now." His voice was peaceful, too peaceful, like saying goodbye to someone he actually knew. And in that second, I realized, maybe I wasn't the one being watched. Maybe we both were. The next morning, the weather was bright and calm. Sunlight filled every corner of the house, like last night never happened. I grabbed my coffee and stepped onto the porch, just to breathe. Ethan stood by the window, calm as ever. He said quietly, "He'll be back," by the tree. I followed his gaze. At the edge of the yard, beneath the old oak, the soil looked freshly disturbed. Small footprints, perfectly shaped, led toward the trunk, like someone had stood there all night. My stomach sank. I went back inside and shut the curtains tight. But when a small breeze brushed through, the curtain fluttered, and I caught a glimpse of something in the reflection. A faint silhouette, tall and pale, just like Ethan described. My heart skipped. When I turned, nothing was there. Ethan was asleep, breathing soft, totally at peace. And in that quiet, one awful thought wouldn't leave me. What if the Shadow Man wasn't just watching Ethan play, but watching both of us every night from the other side of the glass?